I'll tell you. And we're live.
Hey! Season two. Well, let's get to it.
Let's get to
Hey,
it,
y'all. I
ladies.
am Christy. Nice to see y'all again.
Christy, we just saw you.
Are you gonna do your part or not? Like this is season 2. Already starting off crazy live. Hello to everyone that's watching. We're gonna do a quick little and start again. Go ahead.
What's up, y'all? It's Christy.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Rashana, and we are the 1000 Club. Welcome to the 1000 Club podcast, season 2, real, raw, and relevant. We are so happy to be with you all for another season, talking all things friendship, all things living life on 1000. I'm so happy to be here with y'all, ladies, for our season.
We made it to season 2, y'all. That's so
Yes,
good.
that's great.
We did.
Like, we had a whole season, a whole podcast season with 20 episodes. Can y'all believe that?
Exactly. And if you can't, you need to go back onto Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Facebook to watch all 19 episodes of us just talking. Like, that's pretty much what we do here. We are 3 friends inviting y'all into our conversations as women that are evolving, transitioning, living in different cities, representing different fields, all of that. I did want to note that you all seeing us today on a Tuesday, but our regularly scheduled podcast releases will still be Thursday. So look out for that every other Thursday, actually. So look out for that on Thursday. But we wanted to come to y'all live on Tuesday, right at the Labor Day, the unofficial end of summer. I'm still drinking my margaritas. I know some of y'all are already on pumpkin and apple cider. I can't even lie. I have an apple cider drink tonight. I guess I'm in the fall spirit also.
Mm-hmm. I am drinking pumpkin latte.
Yeah, I am drinking a kombucha. It's kombucha and
With
champagne. So it's
something good over there.
Something
Well,
healthy.
let me tell y'all. Shout out to Dominique because she put me on to kombucha. I mean, I'm new of it, but I didn't ever drink it before. Like I would see it in the stores and I was like, I don't know about that. And so I was visiting my friend Dominique in Atlanta and I tried some there and I was like, okay, I can do this. So yes. Oh, and the champagne that I have is Black Girl Magic.
Yes.
Because let me get it in the frame because it is very reminiscent of my summer, which we are going to get into. So
yes,
shout out to the McBride sisters.
Yes,
I've never had that with champagne, Christy. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's real good.
Yes. And before we get into the summer, can I just show off my new smile today? Thank you.
Yes.
Look at those curly waves.
Yes.
When did you get them taken off?
Today.
Aww.
Thanks for not noticing, though. But it's okay.
You know what? I feel like when you talk, you didn't really open your mouth so you could even barely see your braces.
No,
I mean,
you were the third person. You were the third person today. Like I've called quite a few people today. Like, hello, and everyone's been like, hey, and I'm like, hey. They're like, like, what do you? Yes, but I'm excited.
I feel like you were able to hide it really well when you spoke, so it was hard to even tell.
I just didn't open my mouth. I talked a lot like this because I was like, I did not like the braces. It was not something for me at all. So that's where I was.
Yes, them teeth is shining, them pearly white.
All right. So are we going to get into the recap?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, is that me to get into the
Yeah, that's you
recap?
today.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we are going to talk about our Summers on 1000 because this is our first episode back, our first episode of season 2, Real Raw Relevant. We're really going to get into our friendship and we're going to talk about it seriously and openly with all of you. And we want you all to be a part of the conversation. So, if you all can drop some things in the chat, some ideas that you all would like us to explore, questions for us as we're talking today, please feel free to interact. We're coming live because we want to be a little more interactive with all of you all. All of you all are part of our tribe, the 1000 Club. So, Summer on 1000 was lit, I will have to say, looking at you gals, stories and things, and just thinking about back to myself. I want to put a plug in because summer still is not over. Hey, Melanie, how are you?
Hey,
That you can listen,
Valerie.
that you can listen to our Summer on 1000 playlist, which is available on Apple Music. Just search Summer on 1000. It will say that it was put together by Courtney, aka Came Lit, right? See? And so so we just want to plug that. Listen for what the last I'm looking at the date right now, 15 days that we have of summer. So I first want to start with travel. Where did you all go over the summer since outside was pretty much open?
Oh wow, how much time do we have? It's like, nah. All right. So I went to Mexico twice, Puerto Vallarta and Tulum. I went to the DMV twice. I went to Tampa and Atlanta. I think that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Can you talk about those trips? Like, for why? I'm Shakespearean today. Why did you go on those trips?
Okay, so
And
Puerto
one
Vallarta.
thing you liked about each?
What I liked about the trip.
Yeah, why and what's the one thing you liked about each of those trips?
Okay, so Puerto Vallarta, I went for a friend's birthday. Shout out to Kim. It was the most luxurious trip I have ever had. We stayed at Hotel Musai in Puerto Vallarta. It is like, I can't remember, like triple A diamond. I probably got that wrong. It's like, Google it. It's amazing. There's so many amenities. Each suite, it's all suites. It's adult only. Each suite has its own jacuzzi. The food is amazing. We did the all-inclusive plan. And for an all-inclusive resort, the food was really good. So I went there for Kim's birthday. And what I loved about it was the resort, was the luxury. And it was meeting some amazing women. Like I said, I got the Black Girl Magic champagne because it was very reminiscent of my summer. A lot of the trips, all the trips that I did for the most part were girls' trips. And so Kim is a newer friend of mine here in Chicago. And so I didn't know any of her friends. So I went not really knowing anybody but Kim. But it was just amazing meeting the ladies. All of them are like bosses in their own right. And so it was just a good like sisterhood, sister girl trip. So I love that. And then, it was very relaxing. Like I needed that. So I love that about that trip. Tulum was for a bachelorette trip. And if you remember, if you go back to last season, I think I had mentioned that I was going on a trip or to Mexico and I couldn't say where it was because it was for a bachelorette trip and the bride didn't know. So we went to Tulum. And that was another amazing trip. I knew a lot of the people on that trip, but it was just good to spend time with friends that I had not seen because of COVID. And let me tell y'all, what I am loving about girls' trips in your 30s is that you have so many different women from different walks of life. You have moms, you have married women, you have single women, you have married women that have children, single women that have children are not married. You have all these different women who are coming from different places in the world, different experiences. And some of the talks that we've had on that trip really poured into me as a wife, as, you know, not having children now, but who knows what the future holds. So it was good. And then just reminiscing on college days was good. That's what I loved about that trip, and just celebrating my friend who was getting married. Shout out to Imani. She's actually getting married this weekend. So congratulations to her and her fiance, husband to be. Tampa was another bachelorette trip. Shout out to Patrice. And that was amazing. That was another trip where I only knew really the bride to be. I knew one of her other friends because we had been out, but another good like sisterhood moment. And I feel like we all said that we would travel with each other, and we said we need to do an anniversary trip of the bachelorette trip. Yeah. And the same with Tulum. We all said that we would travel together again. And then Atlanta, I visited my friend Dominique, who I said, put me on to kombucha. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm probably butchering it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. The fermented tea. Okay. And so that was good because Dominique is my friend going back to high school. So we talking almost close to 20 years. I'm aging myself. Yeah, in a couple of years. And so it was just good to spend that time with her in her new city. And shout out to her. She was a guest last season. So go back and check out that episode. I think it was
New Job Who Dis or something.
No, that was a throwback. I think it was it
was our first episode in January.
Yeah. So go back and check that out. I think she talked about this in the episode, but she's expanded her real estate business to Atlanta. So check out the Haven Firm. They are in the DMV and in Atlanta and continuing to grow. So congratulations to Dominique. And that is that. And I went to DMV, where the last time I went, we did our photo shoot. And I'll let one of you ladies maybe talk about that. But that was that. A summer full of Black girl magic, melanin magic, just like sisterhood for real on all of those trips. Like I said, I don't even know if the ladies know this, but they really blessed me with the conversations that we had. Just with even some of them, like the talks that we've had after the trips. And I'm looking forward to traveling with all of them in the future.
Yay, yay, yay. And for those of you all that didn't catch everything that she just said, Christy launched a YouTube channel, Come Along With Me, where you can watch and catch all of recaps basically of everywhere that she went this summer and some of the places that we all went this summer.
Yes, I forgot to even talk about that. So if you want to see Puerto Vallarta and the resort, you can go on the YouTube page, Come Along With C, because I have a video on that. And then I did a talk with Rashana about Jamaica, and she'll talk about her trip, but I did that. I don't think I really captured some of my trips. I captured in like IG Reels. I posted a few of them on TikTok. So if you want to see that, you can go on my Insta, which is Come Along With C, and I'm Come Along With C on TikTok also. So yeah.
So you be posting on TikTok?
I post some of my videos
on TikTok. I was actually going to say, my cousin said that he follows you on TikTok, and
I follow him too. He
comes on my
all the time.
Yeah, so
I don't think I've seen you
on TikTok.
Yeah, I've repurposed some of my reels on TikTok. Some of them I know I forget to, but yeah, I think I'm going to transition. I'm trying to. What I've learned, I don't think I could ever be a content creator because I like to enjoy my trip. I like to enjoy my time. And it takes a lot of work trying to capture everything and take pictures of everything. So there's a lot of trips that I did not capture, or I just only got a few, not even enough to make a full video or reel or whatever, a TikTok video. So yeah, so I'm going to try to capture more. I'm going on some more trips, and yeah, I'll try to capture that. And then if you have been following the come away with convo travel series. I am trying to go in a different direction of that. So like I said last season, I am doing it as a hobby. I am not trying to like really do anything with it, but just share where I went and what I did, and hopefully inspire other people to go there or give people like tips and recommendations. And I've realized I don't necessarily like the format. I don't like the whole like Zoom boxes. So I'm hoping to do more like in person with people. So we'll see where that goes, but I'm going to try to put more like videos out there of my own trips as well.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It's funny when you were talking about aging yourself in high school. I was just talking to, I believe it was Courtney and my cousin Javon. Shout out to the actor Javon Williams. Okay, remember his name. We were just talking this weekend about September 11th coming up in 4 days, on the 20th anniversary. And I was like, wow, that means it's been 20 years since I was in 7th grade. And that just seemed like, wow.
Yeah.
Courtney, would you like us to, where did you travel this summer?
This summer? Oh, wow. I don't know. I did a little bit of traveling. I had more of a hot Courtney summer in New York. So I was living it up there. I think last season I talked about going to Puerto Rico and going to Nashville. This summer I went to Jamaica for Crystal's 33rd birthday. Yes. Okay. 33rd birthday. We had a great time. Went to Montego Bay, and like Christy said, Rashana did do an episode with her. So she shared a lot about the trip. So y'all go check that out. Hear more about Montego Bay and Jamaica. So that was fun. That was my first time in Jamaica, actually. So I was excited to go. I was excited to go to Jamaica, my first time. And I'm definitely going back. Shout out to my friend Lori, who is letting me go back with her and stay with her family in Ocho Rios. So I'm really excited about that. Where else did I travel this summer? I don't know if I traveled a lot. I just did a lot of local things. I explored New York City. I went to Atlantic City for the first time. I had never been, so I went there. That was fun. It was really, really hot, but it was really, really nice. What else did I do? I went to a couple of pop-up shops and museums in New York City. I went to the Bachata one with Romero Santos of Aventura. So I did that this summer. What else did I do? I went home. I went to DC. I went to Virginia Beach. I did a lot of, my house is a mess. I did a lot of local travel. It's okay. I did a lot of local traveling this summer. So I just got to know myself through my city. So that was really exciting. That's a lot of what I did. So I had a hot Courtney summer this summer.
Yes. And you also made some new friends this summer.
I did. Yeah.
Yes.
I did. I'm like Chrissy was saying, I think the upside of blogging is you capture every moment. So I'm always taking pictures everywhere I go. I get snapshots of everything. So I met up with a few friends that I met through blogging this summer. We did a lot of local trips. We went to the meatpacking district in Seaport. So that was nice. I had a couple of new coworkers. We became friends this summer. So we did a lot of happy hour in the Bronx and hanging out. So that has been fun. So I met a lot of people. I did a lot of local traveling. I just really enjoyed outside. Even though it got really expensive when it opened up, I really enjoyed outside. I spent a lot of money on dinner this summer and drinks and enjoying. I did go, my really good friend Maria, who's actually been my friend for about 20 years too. She came down and we went to Tequila Fest in Brooklyn. That was fun. We had a great time there. So we did a lot of local things. So I was excited. Yes, I invested in experiences. That's what I did.
Yes. And can you give us a recap? Because recently you went to Must Love Beards NYC. And I think you went to one in DC. So if you can talk a little bit about like the difference, maybe in terms of like your age then and now,
Yes. So
location, what's better?
I
Tell
did.
people what Must Love Beards is first.
So Must Love Beards, shout out to Must Love Beards on Instagram. If you're not following, follow them. It was created in 2015, and it's a party for, and it's literally what you think it is. Must Love Beards. Men with beards are coming, so they will be there. And it's one of the first. It's one of the few parties where men are free, so a lot of guys go. So any single ladies out there in the NYC area, you want to meet some guys, Must Love Beards is a place. I did meet a guy, went on a date, so just FYI. There you go. Nothing will ever be better than the first one I went to with Christy, because that one was like amazing. We had a great time. That was in New York City.
That was a good freaking time. Okay, this is before I was married.
Okay? This is pre-marriage, Christy. That was pre-marriage, Christy.
But that was a good time, and I literally just went up there for the night, like to go to the party, and left the next day.
The next day, she was like, "I was like, you want to come?" She was like, "Yes." So she came up that night. We went out, and then she left the next day. It was amazing. We had a great time. But I will say the New York one I like better. I feel like the vibe is different. It's just a different vibe. I don't know if you guys, if anyone who's watching have ever been to the parties. But if you live in DC, it's kind of like, you know, a good crowd. But I think New York just gives you an array of options and experiences and people. So it's really fun. It was in New York City, right by one of the piers in downtown. So that was nice. So Must Love Beards was a really good time. I will say, the older I get, the more I appreciate parties like that, mostly because there are similar aged people there, 30s plus, who are single, who are looking to mingle. Everyone dances. The music is great. You get to meet people. So I know, you know, as you're younger, it's a different experience. The older you get, you don't really like to, I don't know about anyone listening, but I don't really like to go to a lot of clubs anymore. So I appreciate like a lounge aspect, the old school throwback music. There's like a soca floor, there's like a reggae floor, there is a hip hop R&B floor. So it's really, really fun. So that was nice. That was nice. So I suggest, if you do get a chance to check out the Must Love Beards tickets, women's tickets are only $30. So I feel like it's not that bad. That's just my thought. So if you get a chance to experience it, you should. You should.
Yes. And shout out to you going on a date.
I did.
Okay. So will he get a second date? Real Raw Relevant season 2.
Okay, so this is Real Raw Relevant. Shout out to my mom on Facebook, who's probably watching. So we have discussed going on a second date, but based on the vibe I got around this time, I think a friendship is probably as far as I would like to take it. I don't think I'm gonna go past that. Just because, you know, I think I'm in a place in my life where I'm just starting to realize there are different things that I want. So I'm just going to stick to the things that I want. I don't want to make a lot of compromises. I also don't want to invest in something that I'm not sure about. So friendship is probably as far as it's going to go.
Oh,
and now if he is watching, he knows that.
Bearded man, you are friend zoned.
FYI.
Good times.
Yes. That's hilarious.
This is Real Raw Relevant season.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I appreciate you talking about, you know, the things that you want and what you want to look into and invest and all that type of stuff. Because I feel like that's exactly what my summer was about, not necessarily in dating, but just everything in life. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my mom, because last season we talked about her retiring, and her husband Michael are both living with me. Yay. We'll talk more about that as time goes on. What I will say though is that it's been okay. It's been a lot better than I initially expected. And I think that is due to a couple things. Number one, if you ever have house guests or people living with you for an extended amount of time, I really talked about expectations up front, you know? So I kind of went through my schedule, what I need when I get home, like in little things. Like when I get home, I'm not a talker, okay? Because for those that know what I do, I sit behind a computer, especially now during this hybrid model, and I talk to people all day, right? So when I come home, I'm not the person that's like, hey, how's your day? Immediately, you know, I need a second to calm down. So I talked about that. I also gave a tour of the house. I could, you know, show how everything works, even like to the handle that might be a little rickety, you know what I mean? Like, don't pull this one too hard. And I tried to make it, you know, as comfortable and as flexible as possible. I'm pretty simple. So it wasn't a lot. I also had keys made, so they already had that. I let them know what the codes are to everything. So yeah, it's actually been going pretty well. One of the things that I enjoy most about having them here is they cook, or if they don't cook, they find food. And I appreciate that because I am super busy, you know, just building my business and working a full-time job. And so just having that extra support that I don't have to worry about like what I'm going to eat when I get home has been awesome. And it's also been something that I have been thinking about as I'm like thinking now what I want in a potential husband. I think a lot of the ideas that I had prior to this summer and really working through a lot of my realities in therapy have changed a bit what I'm looking for. And so if you're out there and you're watching and you're looking at me and you're like, damn, she's fine, okay? You better know how to cook, okay? Because while
You better have the stovetop on deck.
There's something in my hair right here. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. Because while I cook, I don't have the capacity right now to be able to do that. And so I just have really just started to really think about what exactly is it that I need in a companion, not what I think a companion is supposed to be, if that makes sense. And that has been like a bombshell. Shout out to my therapist, Diane, for really just, as usual, spinning my head in another rotation. This summer, I had the opportunity to travel internationally for the first time since COVID. And I'm so grateful because I was going crazy. I went to Jamaica, Montego Bay, as Courtney said, and as Christy highlighted, is on her Come Along with C series on YouTube. It was a great opportunity. Go, please watch that. Not only do we talk about, you know, just Montego Bay and what it's like to be in Jamaica. This is my second time visiting this particular city in Jamaica. But I also give you all some tips around if you're going to meet someone, okay? Because I am the type of traveler where I don't want to shy away from the conversation. You know, sometimes you go somewhere and you have a really good connection with somebody. And this is just like, this could be intimate. It could also just be friends. It could be whatever, right? And you want to spend more time with those people or that person. And so I give some tips, some safety tips. I do want to note, it's always a risk, okay? So let me just say that, FYI, but I do think that it's important for us to be talking about that because it does happen, especially it seems like on trips that I plan. So that was really nice. And then I went to Boston a couple times. I went to Boston for Memorial Weekend, or Memorial Week, I should say. That was really nice. To spend time with family. It was the first time that I was able to really see a lot of my family because the majority of us are vaccinated. And so we were able to spend time together. And if you listen to the podcast, you know how much my family means to me and how close I am to my family. So not seeing them for over a year was really difficult. So that was good. I then went back again in July to help, you know, my parents move. And that was a trip, you know, all I can say is at the end of the day, family over everything, and love always wins. So that was good. We ended with the cookout in Greensboro. Shout out to my Auntie Joy for planning that retirement party in Greensboro. We had a great great time. It was really awesome. And then I went to New York this past weekend, Labor Day weekend, and I really enjoyed my time there. There's something about New York, particularly Brooklyn, that always just has my heart. Like it always does something for me. Brooklyn reminds me of home. Brooklyn reminds me of my youth. Like Brooklyn reminds me of just all of those things. And it was always a good time. So shout out to Shatisha, my other half of Lucy and Mavis. Shout out to Courtney for always allowing me to crash at her house anytime that I need to. She was a great tour guide this time. She took me to some touristy spots in New York. So I got to see the Statue of Liberty from the Staten Island ferry, which is really nice. I got to go to Staten Island, which was nice because all I could hear in, I think it's Diddy, Manhattan, Staten. What now? Let's make it happen or something like that in that song he says, right? So I was really happy to be able to say, oh, now I've been to Staten Island. And then we went to Little Island, which is literally a little island, like this big. It's really great if you want to take pictures. I would also say it seems like a meetup spot. So if you ever wanted to do like a Saturday hangout or a happy hour, you can go there. It's kind of like Truckaroo, but on a very smaller scale. So those of you all that live in the DC area, I would say that it's similar to that. There are food trucks and you can kind of just sit in some chairs and talk. Very great scenery for pictures. So it's a great place for that. Then we went to City Winery, which there is a location here in DC. We had a wine tasting. I did purchase a wine, which was some red wine with some sort of pepper undertones, which, you know, I'm spicy, y'all, okay?
Yes.
Love that. So I did that. And I know we've been really on wines this summer. I know Chrissy talked about Black Girl Magic, but she has also put me on to like mead and blueberry wines this summer. So I really appreciate that as she went to her wine tasting or mead creation or something you did, right? When you went to Virginia or something.
Yeah, the mead tasting.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about doing something like that in the future. And then, of course, as I said, New York has a special place in my heart. Reminds me of my youths and them because I have to go to a Soca Fest. So I had a great time in Brooklyn. I partied till 8:30 a.m. in the morning, went to the bodega, got my breakfast sandwich, went home, ate, and went to sleep. I went to Soca Brainwash. Shout out to DJ Private Ryan for putting on a phenomenal event as he always does. This was my first time doing a Soca Brainwash in New York. It will probably be my last because while it was a really great put together program, I enjoyed it. It was not all inclusive. And that bothered me because I normally pay that same price in other countries and I get food and alcohol included. So boo to New York for that, for putting restrictions on Private Ryan for now allowing us to have an all-inclusive event. And I will not be paying that price again for something that is non-all inclusive. And now I look forward to my birthday in Charleston, South Carolina. So I am just, traveling. You can follow my travel page at United Family Organization. We have not officially launched yet. However, I have several trips that I have booked and supported and coordinated over the summer. Just to, get my name out there. So I'd encourage that for any entrepreneur that's working. Don't be afraid if you haven't soft launched, you haven't fully launched yet. You can do some things just to increase the buzz and increase the interest and the visibility of your business. And so United Family Organization will officially launch probably in November and we'll have official launch as of January 1st, 2022. That's UNITEDFAMILYORGANIZATION. And if you can't remember that, you can always follow me at Bossy Quad. That's BOSSZQU, the number 4D. And in my bio, you can catch all the things that are involved in my journey. So that was my Summer on 1000 travel edition. Yes. So now that we've spoken about travel, I want to travel into the world of controversy. And I have some things that I would like to ask you all about. The first one is recently I watched an interview on The Breakfast Club with Nick Cannon, who they're calling Nick No Condom Cannon. And I wanted to know what your thoughts are, because he definitely had a summer on 1000. He's definitely father on 1000. And yeah, what do y'all think about that?
I'm laughing at the Nick. No, kind of cannon. That's pretty funny. So I think I didn't really watch the full interview, so I don't want to speak on everything that he shared in that. But what I will say is, I mean, he has the money to be a dad. He has the money to take care of his kids. The women who are having the children understand the situation. Is it probably ideal? Probably not, because there are little things that he's probably missing on a day-to-day basis because he's not in the home, in every child's home. But like I said, the women understand the situation. He got the money to finance it. I mean, he don't ever miss. So,
We don't miss.
he don't miss. So I think
no Miss Cannon. Woo, that's a good one.
I know that's a good one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think people, he has literally created a lifestyle that works for him, and it works for the women, and it somehow he makes it work for the kids. I mean, however he does it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I don't really know what the controversy is. So maybe share if you feel like there is controversy, what that is.
Yeah, what are they saying?
Yeah.
Like, what's controversial? Is it because he's having so many kids in such a short time frame?
With different women, yeah. And so one of the things that, I saw people writing was just like, what is that saying to like his children? You know what I mean? Like the children that he's having, how active of a father can he be? I do think there was definitely a level of forgetting that Nick Cannon is Nick, not broke Cannon. Oh, in both ways, I guess. And so like, he's able to financially support the families that he's starting. But, some people did have that concern. I'll put it as a concern, for pretty much all of it, right? The mental health of it all, like what is that saying about him and where he is in his life, that he's able to meet so many women that he deems as, able children and things like that. Yeah.
I mean, you have men out here who are doing the same thing and are not financially stable.
Exactly.
I mean,
I agree with Courtney. I mean, he has the money to financially provide for these children now. Emotionally and physically, that's questionable. You can't divide your time with all of the children and be there for them probably in the way that they need it. But financially, they're covered. And I haven't seen the interview, but from what I can remember from little snippets on social media, like he's intentionally doing it. It's not just like he's just out here being reckless. How he goes about choosing the women, I have no idea. Seems like they're okay with it. And I mean, I guess so, with the type of money that he has. But they know like their children are going to be taken care of. They're going to be provided for. I'm sure they got all of the NDAs and the contracts or whatever in place to protect themselves and their children. So I think, for a person like him, I don't see it as controversial because he has the means to take care of them. And you do have men who are in similar situations who don't have the financial, physical, or emotional means to take care of their children. And so I think, he's intentional about it. I'm sure the women, like Courtney was saying, they know what they're getting themselves into. And it seems like because of his sickness that he realized like, this is the mark that I want to leave on the world. Like, I want to have this legacy. And while I can, let me, go out there and be fruitful. So
I have a question. I don't know. Like, I don't know all of the mothers of his children. Like, I'd be interested to see like who they are. Because I wonder if that's a part of the controversy too. I don't know.
I think, and I don't know if this is right, but aren't some of them the Wild and Out girls?
What?
I think so. I mean, I think
Yeah, one.
that's saying.
Hmm.
I'm not all up on the tea. I'm gonna do better this season because we got to be relevant. But I think I heard a little snippet of that these were the Wild and Out girls. Some of them.
I mean, once again, they know what they're getting into. I think it's controversial just because it's not the traditional lifestyle that people would like to live or think that you should live. So maybe that's a part of it too. But that'd be interesting. I think we should definitely revisit this at some point in the season.
I also think it's interesting. I feel like in our 30s, you find women who are like, I want to have children and I don't care about a partner. And so I think it's interesting. Like, I would like to know more about, like, do these women want a man in the home to take care of I mean, obviously they don't, but at some point, do they want a man in the home to help take care of these parental responsibilities that you would have on a day-to-day basis where he wouldn't be able to be there? Like, because for some people, money is not always enough. You do need that physical presence. And so I think it's interesting because you do have women who are like going out here and like, I'm going to have my child, husband or not, like significant other or not. And so I'm wondering if, that is the criteria, part of the criteria. Like, look, I'm looking for somebody who just wants to have a baby and be set. Like, you and your child are going to be set.
Yeah, I mean, I told my aunt I would give him a baby, right? Because he can financially take care of the child. From at least the interview, it seems like he does his best and he does a really good job. He has financial means that if he needs to fly halfway across the country and be there for a volleyball game and then come here for a soccer game, that he can do that. So it seems like he is, he's doing what he is able to do. It also seems like he's willing to make the life changes to centralize his life, so that he's centrally located in terms of distance with his children. And, yeah, it's like, you're right. Like at this age, particularly, you start to have those conversations with yourself, especially if you're not married or you're not in a committed relationship. You really just kind of want to know, like, is this something that's really going to happen? What are my options if I really do want to be a mother? And if I really do, and things don't seem like they're lining up the way that you might want them to, or tradition may tell you they're supposed to, then you have to seek alternative routes or routes. Routes, same thing. Routes, however you say it, depending on where you're from. You have to begin to explore those options. And if you don't want to go to a sperm bank where you don't necessarily know who the father of your child is, where, your child may never have the opportunity to meet where they come from and know who they are, then, I mean, Nick Cannon is not even the next best thing. He might even be like the best thing, for you to do, for you to consider. So that is the take on that. So I definitely wanted to know about that. On the opposite scale, I'm going to try to share my screen, y'all. Let's see if this works, right? Because we're trying to make this more interactive, okay? I don't know what screen is going to do. Okay, so let's see. I wanted to talk about Daniel Brooks, right? Can you all see that? Yay!
Yes, you did.
How you doing it?
Right. Look at me. Okay. So, I want to show her because particularly I just really enjoyed this photo shoot that she did, like with her about to be husband. I thought it was just beautiful. She looks beautiful. I love chocolate love that is displayed here. And yeah, I wanted to know, in terms of seeing these photos, I'm not sure, Christy, if you reposted, but you've done engagement photo shoots before. I think I did. Courtney, you posted it. What does this say to you, right? Because people repost for a bunch of different reasons. And I saw that a lot this summer. in terms of memes, photos, whatever. What does this say to you?
What does the photo say? This
Yes, what does
particular
the photo represent? Mm-hmm.
To me, it just represents strength and confidence and just Black love. I
Yes.
mean, she looks beautiful. She looks like the queen that she is with her king, and they're standing by there and they're like, we are going to run the world. Like,
Yes.
that was actually the song, 2 Chainz and I think it's Ariana Grande. But anyway, they have a song Run the World. And so that was actually our song walking into our reception. But they just look like they're ready to take on the world. Like no matter what comes up against them, like they're ready. They just look really strong and like a force to be reckoned with as a couple. And I love it because I think when you get married, like you're a team, you have this bond that's like no other. And so yeah, I think that's definitely what it gives me.
I liked it just because I think representation matters. So exactly what Christy said, but also just the representation. Like I love that her hair is like a naturaler style.
Mm.
That is like the natural texture of her hair, but I appreciate that it's not like straight, it's not blonde, even though I feel like women should be able to wear their hair however they want to. I think that sometimes when we think of like special occasions or especially occasions where we feel like we want to be beautiful, we tend to go towards certain hairstyles, certain dress and everything like that. And so I really do appreciate that. I appreciate, of course, because she's a full figure girl, looking good in 2 pieces right after she had a baby or shortly after, she had a child. I really love that. I appreciate that her husband is fine. Okay. Shout out to her future husband, because I just think that big Black women are deserving of fine love. And I appreciate that they're both dark skinned. I think growing up, oftentimes it was always like, you both can't be dark skinned. One of y'all got to kind of compliment each other on the shade. And so to see that they are both light skinned, to see that a dark skinned man is attracted to a dark skinned woman, all that melanin popping, they have a beautiful baby. Like Chrissy said, just looks like they're just standing like so tall together. And it gave me the feels, definitely on my Pinterest board. So shout out to Daniel Brooks and her man.
Courtney, you about to say something?
Go ahead. You can go if you want to say.
No. I was going to ask something related, but go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I agree with everything you both said. I think the other thing I got from it is like the powerfulness of it felt sexy. Like it made you feel good. It made you feel sexy, and it made you look at them and be like, they look amazing. And it made you, well, for me, when I reposted it, I was just like, this is a bomb ass photo shoot. They both look great. Okay. They both look amazing. They look sexy. They look like they share love. They look like there's a strong foundation. They look like they are just uplifting each other. And I really got that from the photo shoot. So I love that. I love them. Shout out to Danielle Brooks.
Yeah, so I was going to say, speaking of engagement weddings, Issa Rae, what did you all think about her kind of like popping out, married? I remember seeing her announce that she was engaged, but I think a lot of people didn't know that she was even like in a relationship or engaged. I think I remember, like, because
she didn't announce it, but when she did the Essence cover in Cuba, she had a ring.
Okay,
and that is when people realized, like, oh, she's engaged, but she never confirmed or denied, and that is who she is, and so.
Yeah, because I was going to say it wasn't a surprise to me that she got married because I knew and I couldn't remember like how I knew. I guess I saw it on like the blogs or whatever or like Shade Room. But how do you all feel? Because I know for me personally, I did not post like any relationship until I got engaged. And so how do you all feel? Like, would you post your man? Like, what's the right time to post when you're in a relationship? Like, what do you feel you should share about your relationship if you do decide to share on social media?
Did you guys see that picture of the girl who shared her man and the whole head's cut off? I feel like that is the thing now. Like, don't show it until it's real. But I appreciated Issa Rae popping out married. Like, I thought that was dope. I love how she did that. I think especially in her league, keeping it private was probably really difficult. So for her to be able to do that is amazing. I don't know if I feel like there is a certain time in the relationship that you post. I think you just have to be comfortable in your relationship to decide if you want to post it or not. Because especially, I think a lot of people look at relationships and want certain type of love because what people are posting, or they think certain relationships are relationship goals, not really realizing what the relationship is. But I think it's important for you and your partner to decide, like if you guys both have social media, to decide if and when you want to post. But yeah, pop out married, pop out engaged, like do all that. Pop out with a baby and a husband and 2 houses and tell the world, hey, just FYI. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But I don't know. I feel like I would definitely, once I get in a relationship, you'd probably definitely see who I'm dating. But probably closer to if we were to get engaged or married or something like that. I think that's probably when I would start posting. That's just me though.
I agree, and I think both of you all, like both your answers don't surprise me, and neither does Issa Rae, because she is a very private person. You know, I think Christy, you post like what you want to post, and you don't post your entire life on social media. Courtney, your whole blog is about your life. You know what I mean? So like you're posting more about who you are and being more transparent in that way. Issa Rae is a celebrity. So I think what some of my irritation, not with her, but with all the people that were posting about like, yes, Issa Rae, date private and pop out married. A lot of y'all are women who are dating men that you don't want to post, not because like you're trying to be reverent towards your relationship, but because you're afraid of what's going to come back when you post him. You're afraid that someone's going to slide in your DMs like, oh, that's my man too. Oh, that was my man. That's my baby's father. You know what I mean? And so to me, that was like a little bothersome.
Because we are real, raw, and relevant this season.
Yes, okay, that was a little bothersome because it's not dating. You can be a private dater, right? You can, because you can keep whatever you want in your life to yourself, but you should not be private to your spouse. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Like, it should not be like your spouse is not talking about you. People don't know that you are in a relationship. And I'm talking about people that are close to you. Like, I don't think that people that are close to Issa Rae were surprised that she was married or even engaged. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure she is open with those people that she needs to be open with, which are not us. Okay, so everyone that felt entitled to knowing her business, you don't have to know her business. And I feel like the same way it is for social media. For me, I have done that once before, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, but I probably would. I probably would post prior to, just because I post my life. You know what I mean? Like, I post where I'm going, I post who I'm with. And so if I'm with my significant other, then yeah, that's just what I'm going to post. You know what I mean? Like, social media is an extension of me, and I use it as like my photo album. So you will be a part of my photo album. I'm also the person though, that if something goes wrong, I'm not deleting the picture, because this was a part of my life and I use it to document like my life. So, yeah, you know, date me at your own risk. That's pretty much what I would say. Yeah, I would probably post before then, but I'm not intentionally like thinking about that in that way, if that makes sense. Like, because I'm not like branded as a relationship expert in any kind of way, nor should I be. You know, but like, yeah, I'm not thinking about it. If it's a nice picture, I post nice pictures. I post the nicest picture. So hopefully you should make one of those, right? Like, if not, I don't know. You might got something else. Yes. So speaking of nice picture perfect, I did want to get in here a quick recap, because I don't think we talked about this on the podcast, and it did wrap up this summer, of Real Housewives of, I'm not Real Housewives, sorry, I'm wrong friend. Same group, but wrong, whatever, location. Married to Medicine. Do you watch that? Does anybody else watch that? Can we talk about that or that?
I've seen some episodes of the last season, but I don't think I finished it.
I'm not.
All right, we all gonna have to watch me on a live one day, because I've been waiting for someone to talk to somebody about this. So another time. From this summer that you ladies wanted to talk about?
Shout out to Certified Lover Boy album of the year. I just wanted to put that out there.
I feel like I've had it in the background, but I still haven't listened, so I can be catching all these Instagrammable lyrics that have been put out here.
I mean, we've been talking about controversy.
As I said, yeah, no, I will say here openly and whatever, you all can drag me in the comments if you feel like it, but I'm not a Drake fan. I just don't think he speaks to the stuff I like to hear about. That's all. I think that I respect him as an artist. I respect him as a businessman. You know, the fact that he does have all of these tweetable quotes that people love to put on their Instagram just shows like how he understands his brand and who he is and how to market himself. You know what I mean? And so, and I feel like his album is the same. And yeah, I think there were definitely some songs that I really enjoyed on the album. But is it something I probably will listen to again? Probably not. But you know, if it's playing in the club, you're going to see me bouncing and bopping to it. Yeah. Did you listen to it, Christy? Oh, you said you haven't listened to it because you're
still having it on like in the background in the car, but I haven't really like tuned into these lyrics so I can catch them and like, you know, throw them in my little posts, my pictures like y'all be doing. Not y'all, but like I be saying on Instagram, y'all taking note of all the lyrics so that you can put them under the photos that you post. No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I think I posted last week. Like, if I see one more, what's the lyric from Fair Trade?
Something like.
I lost friends and found peace. That's the fair.
Yeah. If I see that one more time, find something else. I know he has a lot of other quotables, so find something else.
Does he though? But the other question is though, seriously, is if that's what everybody's posting, I'm looking at all of them and wondering like, who is in your friendship circle? Right?
Oh yeah.
Posting that, then I'm like, all of you all are having dysfunctional friendships? Like, really? Like,
yes.
Inquiring minds want to know.
No, I was going to say, you talked about what else happened this summer. One of the things that I realized on all these girls' trips is that, like for the trip to Tampa, I was telling my friend, because I knew her and I didn't really know everybody else well, but I said, like, I'm not concerned because I know you and I know that your friends are a representation of you. So, like, I feel like I should be able to go on any trip. And, like, you disagree, Rashada?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, because because one of the things too that I've learned this summer, or I've been working on this summer specifically, is, you know, accepting people for who they are. And while I love the majority of who you all are, there are quirks about you all or things that are just not my favorite. And if you have a friend or friends that connect with that part of you, then those are probably not going to be the most enjoyable experiences for me. But for the most part, I think I've been on really good trips where you've mixed friends. Like Jamaica was a mixed friends trip, and I was a little nervous, but it actually ended up being really good. And so I think you should go definitely into situations being open, you know, in terms of just making new friends and meeting new people. But, you know, both of y'all definitely got people that, you know, aren't my favorite. I'm sure I got people that aren't your favorite, you know? So
I really don't. But that's me and that's my personality. Like, that's me and that's my personality. Like, I can pretty much get along with anybody. And unless you do something to me, I don't really have an issue with a lot of people. And so I'm very go with the flow. So like if it's a trip and you have an itinerary or you don't have an itinerary, I go with the flow. And so I think your friends may not be a representation of all of you, but they're a representation of some aspects of you. So like I have friends that I have met through work. Like we bond over work, and then we bonded over like a love for travel. Or one of my friends, the one who I went on the bachelorette trip to Tampa, we bonded over going to a Jay-Z Kanye concert. You know what I'm saying? So, like, so you're going to bond on certain aspects. They are a representation of pieces of you. I may have friends that love to shop. You know what I'm saying? May have friends who are, I know from the church, like Rashana, we know each other from a church organization. I have friends that just love to have a good freaking time. Okay. And we bond on that level. So I think, yeah, like I was telling her, I was like, I wasn't worried about the trip and not knowing anybody, because I know that they're a representation of you. And I don't think that you would hang out with anybody that's going to be an a-hole, because she's not an a-hole. Right. And so, yeah, I didn't have any concern. Even the trip that I went on where like it was a newer friend, and I really didn't, like, I only knew her for a year, definitely didn't know any of her friends. And I was a little nervous because, for one, I was staying by myself. I was in a room by myself. And everybody else was like kind of together. So I was already kind of like the odd man out, right? Odd woman out. But I just kind of knew her from that year, and how like I'm like, she hasn't had any red flags. I don't think that she would associate or be, with anybody else. And so that like would cause any issues. And yeah, I just felt like the trips that I've been on with the friends that I have, don't get me wrong, I do have some friends where it's like, yeah, they have some quirks about them, but my friends have some quirks about them. You know what I'm saying? Like I cannot, and this is like, love y'all, but first off, I'm a person that like, I'm borderline introvert, extrovert. So I already need time to myself. I cannot be around my friends 24/7. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that was one thing that I realized, like, I feel like, your friends are a reflection of you. But I also realized this summer, like, things that I won't tolerate in people in general, like, and I've had to learn this about myself, and just in marriage as well, because that's another relationship. Just like, your friendships are relationships. I don't do disrespectful tones. And that's something that I have been guilty of in marriage. And so I've seen it now in my friendships. And I was like, oh yeah, that's something that I don't like. So let me change what I'm doing in my marriage. Don't like disrespectful tones. I've realized, like, and I don't like disrespect, period. I don't like, when I'm putting out something and not getting it in return. And I've come to acknowledge that you're not always going to, get what you think you should get out of a person, because everybody looks at friendship differently, right? And but
say that again.
I've also come to realize, like, the times where I thought that, okay, this person is not showing up for me. Like, oh, this person's not coming to my birthday. They never come to my birthday, right? Or this person, like, every time I invite them to something, they don't come. I also realized, like, after the fact, that it was something going on in their lives that they weren't either ready to talk to me about, and not that they don't have to talk to me, ever have to talk to me about it, but they were going through something that, they just didn't want to let me into. And also respect that like, yes, your friends may not always be there for you, but there could be a reason that they're not necessarily ready to talk about.
Can I ask a question about that really quick? Mm-hmm. So if it's a friend, right? And you all know, those of you all who are watching that may not know me, Christy and Courtney know words matter to me, right? So if it's somebody that you're calling a friend who consistently does not show up for you, do you think that as your friend, they don't have to tell you why? Like, you don't?
I don't think anybody ever has to tell you anything. That's
okay.
One thing I've kind of learned, especially in friendship, is that, especially like now that I'm married, there's some things I'm never going to talk about, with my friends.
Yeah.
pertaining to, you know, my marriage. There's some things personally that I'm never going to share with my friends because you don't owe anything to anybody. And that's one thing that I've had to learn. Like, yes, we are friends and I have certain expectations, but that, you know, that other person also has other expectations. And I think it's up to you to decide if you can no longer accept what they are putting out. But I feel like you have to give people a fair chance, right? Like you do have to, like I've realized I haven't always let someone know, like, hey, like, you know, you never come to this when I invite you. Like, what's up? Like, do you want to be invited? Do you not want to do this? It's like, is there a reason why? I haven't always been forthcoming where I might have thought like taking it personally, like you just don't want to, you know, support me. But I don't think anybody owes you anything. Nobody owes you to talk about anything. I think as a friend, you can ask them and you can do whatever and you can tell them how you're feeling. And then it's up to you to decide whether you want to continue or not in the friendship.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think that that piece is that everyone has their decisions. That's like the key piece, because I definitely have had friendships where, you know, like you said, you have a right to establish your boundaries wherever you establish them. Yet I still also have a right to then move around your boundaries, right? How I need to move, where I'm establishing my own boundaries. And that might mean that our friendship will change, you know? And the example that you gave, you know, which is like a general example, but I don't know if I would still be that person's friend. You know, we might be associates. There's no bad blood because they haven't done anything malicious towards me, but that is not something that I would consider a friend. You know, that person will also have to recognize that, just like you're saying, like there's expectations from each person.
I think also it goes to like something Chrissy said earlier about how your friends connect to who you are. So like it's one thing, like if you have a friend that's a really close friend and they're not showing up to your stuff and they're not doing stuff, then you have to decide, like, is this person a really close friend, or like are they just connected to a part of me and maybe they're not as involved in my life as I think they should be, because that's not how our friendship is working. And if you decide to still call that person a friend, you have to figure out what those boundaries are, like you both were saying, that you're willing to do. But I do agree. I don't think you owe anyone an explanation, but I do think it's important to, if you do call someone like a really close friend, like a best friend, a sister friend or whatever, I do think it's important to communicate. Because I think a lot of times, even when we say like, oh, we don't owe anyone anything, you still have the other person who's sitting on the other end, like, yo, what happened? Like, did something change? You know, I thought this was like this. I think there's still a level of communication. Now, do you have to share everything? No. But I do think you should respect the friendship enough to say like, hey, FYI, this is changing, or I feel like this, or whatever. And then just give your friend the opportunity to make the decision of, do I want to stay in this friendship while this is happening? Or do I want to come back? Or do I not want to be friends at all? I think that's important. And I would say, like, this summer I learned, you know, regardless of friend or extension of friend, like if some type of energy triggers me, I have to understand how to set boundaries and be prepared to walk into spaces where where the energy is shifting my energy, and really say, okay, is this something I can deal with? Am I ready to do this? Like, I love my friend, but this is happening. Like, I think that's really important, because sometimes we assume just because they're our friends that they're going to always do things that we like, or they're always going to be in spaces that are conducive to where we are. And that doesn't happen all the time. So that's something I learned. Some is really important to know where you are, to know how to not just approach friendships, but like you were saying, Christy, going on trips with extended friends. Like sometimes they may bring a friend and you're like, oh, I can't mess with that person right now. Like, I'm in a space where I can't do that, and understand that that's okay. And, you know that your space is your space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen at the same time too. Because I think also, just as you said, when you're growing, everyone is not growing in the same place that you are. And I think that's a very hard lesson for some people. You know, it's a very hard lesson for me, is, you know, just as you're growing, everybody that you've grown with, as they say, everyone is not supposed to be with you at every level.
Right.
And we say that all the time, and we're like, yeah, right, that makes sense. But letting go of that is very, very difficult for me. You know what I mean? Because a part of me just feels like, dang, I see myself as a loyal person. And it's not like I said, the person has done anything maliciously, but it really is that their friendship is not serving me anymore in the same capacity that it was before. And some of that is my growth. Some of that is also their growth. You know what I mean? So, easier said than done.
That's real. I think, especially this summer, I've noticed like I'm closer to some friends now based on where I am in my life than I was 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? And I think that's going to continue to happen as life changes. Like as you get married, as you have kids, as you know, become an entrepreneur, as you move across the country or do whatever, you're going to start getting closer and forming new friendships with the people of where you are, right? Like Courtney, you have blogger friends now. And then Rashana, you have your entrepreneur friends. Like I have a whole mix of friends because I cover a lot of areas. Like I have friends who are married. I have friends who are single but like to go out like I do, a party. Friends who like to travel. And I still have my friends from like Melanie, she's my friend from middle school, and I have my friends from high school, college, and then like the friendships that I formed with you all. And I think your friendships are going to continue to look different, and it's going to match the level that you're at. And so I think, you know, I look at like my mom, and I don't remember if she talked about this. We did episodes with our moms last season, so make sure you go back and check that out. But I just like, I think about my mom and like the friends that my mom used to have when she was like working. And she doesn't like really talk to them as much now. They may meet up maybe once a year. They may talk on the phone maybe like every 6 months, but she has friends that she talks to more often now. You know what I'm saying? And so I think, you know, I don't know if I said this before. I think we did maybe in the Real Raw Relevant episode last year or whatever that was titled. But I realize now like the bond, and I think I also realized like in moving, the bond is always there, like as long as it hasn't been fractured, right? The bond is always there, but it may not always be, like you may not always be as close. And that's something that I've come to accept. So yeah, but I still have to say, I think Christy's personal opinion that your friends are a representation of you. Now, if you don't like some things about your friends, maybe you need to examine yourself.
I agree.
But yeah, I think, and I think that's, you know, like I said, that was reassuring to me, like going on this trip where I didn't really know anybody, being like, I love my friends, so I'm gonna love my friends' friends. You know what I'm saying? And it did happen that way. But like I said, I have that personality where I'm like ready to have a good time, like ready to go with the flow. So yeah.
Yeah. I think you're a really go with the flow person. I'm a really go with the flow person too. For me to like not, you don't think I'm a go with the flow person?
Oh no, I wasn't saying no to that. Sorry.
I think for me, if it comes down to like not liking a friend, I have to really not like you to like not like you, because I'm usually
That's
like,
how I feel like I am.
yeah, just like I'll just
if you do something to me, then like it really takes for you to like really do something to me to really be like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And I have learned from a situation where I thought that there was, well, to me, there was disrespect. I have learned we can be cordial, we can have fun, but it ain't gonna be like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? And then I've also, like I said, I've just come to know and better learn kind of that friendships are going to change. You're going to have, you know, you're going to be closer at one point and then you're not going to be as close. So yeah.
Yeah, and I would say I'm not a go with the flow person, because I don't want to go with everyone's flow. You know what I mean? And I recognize that up front. And so for me, it's like if I know that your vibe is off, it's not gonna not get along well with my vibe. As you all said, I can be cordial, I can key, but I'm also going to keep my distance because I'm not going to put myself in situations where I know I'm going to get irritated, where I know my energy is going to be off. Like I'm just not doing that. I find myself as a person that's very self-aware of who I am, what I can and what I can't deal with. And so for the most part, like I said, I would say 50-50 in friend groups. Like I've always been cool. I've always been cordial. But I know to the extent that I'm going to interact with someone. And I tend to know that pretty early because that's what I'm looking for. I'm a connector. And so I'm looking immediately when I'm in any group, any room, like, okay, how do I fit in here? Like who connects with my vibe? And so yeah, you can definitely invite me on the girls trip. Just know that if you see me like doing my own thing, just let me do my own thing because I'm going to do that even with my close friends. Like I'm the type of person, I don't have to be with my friends every second of the day for a trip. Like I kind of like to be able to do my own thing also, yeah, but if your friend is getting on my nerves, don't expect me to still be rah-rah with them. Like, we good. What are you saying, y'all?
Because you said rah-rah. I was like, y'all.
Oh, yeah, y'all.
I was like singing. It was like I was having a moment.
Yeah. It is. And I think also as a person who puts a lot of girl trips together, you learn, like, like who where there might be something, because yeah, my friends, I would say for the most part, are definitely a representation of a piece of me, and I know which friends that I'm going to go to for certain things, which friends I'm not going to go to for certain things. And some people can cross over, some people can't, and that's okay because they're my friends, but I'm going to try to, whatever vibe I'm looking for on a trip or an outing, that's the people that are going to be invited. Mm-hmm. So speaking of being invited, we want to invite you to tune in every other Thursday to the 1000 Club podcast. This is season 2. And I want to start off the season really quickly as we are closing with each of you telling me what you're looking forward to this season, personally, friendship-wise, and then also one thing that you're excited for us to cover.
Ooh. Personally, friendship, and excited for us to cover.
It's like personally / friendship, but you can say both if you'd like. You can make it 3 questions. That's fine.
I can go ahead. Personally, what I'm looking for, you said looking forward to talking about or
covering? Yep. So what are you looking forward to personally? Because I want to see on second, I think is our last episode. I forget. Mm-hmm. I want to see what we say today versus what happens on that last day.
Okay. I don't know if this is answering your question because I don't know if I totally get it.
What are you looking forward to personally? What are you looking for?
Personally, what we're going to talk about?
Nope. What are you looking forward to personally? Meaning personally, person to you, right?
Okay.
Like person. What are you looking forward to in terms of friendship? And then what are you looking forward to talking about?
Sorry, I'm being difficult. In life or on the podcast?
No. So no, yes, it's both, right? Because personally to you. And it's what are you looking forward to talking about on the podcast? But you're saying talking about and forward to the podcast are 2 different things, right? Because you could be looking forward to like gaining followers, and that's you might not want to talk about that on the podcast, right? That's what you're saying.
I guess I'm gonna just go for it. Okay. So personally, on the podcast, I am looking forward to guests. I'm looking forward to having more guests. I just met a phenomenal woman over the weekend, and so I ain't talked to Courtney and Rashawn about this yet, but I am looking forward to having more guests on specifically related to friendship and then just other topics as well. But I'm very interested in talking about like friends going to therapy, because I think a lot of times you just think like therapy is only for romantic relationships, but it could be for any relationship. And so I'm looking forward to talking to a friendship coach and or therapist. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to really digging into the relevancy this season, because as we know, the last season of Insecure is coming up. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. Looking forward to relating that to our lives and just what's going on with us. Looking forward to all the other shows coming out, and then just like what we're watching currently. I just started watching Sisters on BT. I like randomly watched the episode on the plane, and I was like, let me try this out. Let me see what this is all about. So one thing y'all will learn about me is I don't really have a good track record with finishing shows, so I'm gonna try to finish it. Oh, and then another thing I'm watching, this is totally off topic, but I'm watching Superstore. I started from season 1, episode 1. That was another thing I watched on the plane. And I was literally like laughing out loud. And, just with everything that's going on in the world, I like to watch things that have me laughing. So I have been binge watching Superstore. I'm almost finished with it. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to like the relevancy and just looking forward to like sharing what's going on with me. I talked about PCOS last season, and I am still trying to navigate and figure it out. If you have PCOS, please share your tips and recommendations, because I am trying to balance these hormones without birth control. And it has been trial and error. So I'm going to keep y'all updated. I'll let y'all know next episode, maybe more about that. So I'm going to take up more time. But talking more about that, just to give y'all an update, because I talked about this last season, I did get a promotion. Finally, that happened. So
yes, girl.
Yes. So I am in a different position.
On you.
Yeah, for your birthday, girl. I'm buying you a drink.
The shade.
But yeah, so I am in a different role, and I will think about what I will share with y'all. I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna share everything with y'all. Because I think I shared this last season. I don't even share everything on social media. So we'll see how raw I get. I'm not like my co-host. I feel like they are open books, and I admire that about them. So look, y'all, I'm the friend that is not necessarily going to probably, like, I think Rashada said, I'm a little private. So yeah, we'll see what I share about the new position. And just what I learned, it is more of a leadership role. So I think probably more what I'm learning about leadership. And then I think I covered that's personally. And then just in general, with the podcast, I think again, like just more guests. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, me? Okay. So personally, I'm looking forward to sharing my story of losing weight, period. That is a personal goal. I know it's one of the things that we love to talk about here, and I think friends should talk about in terms of health and how to be healthy, and not just talk about, but even I'm trying to think of how my friends can best support me in this journey, because I do need some more accountability, but I need to know what type of accountability I need. I'm not going to appreciate, someone just being like, girl, it was your like 4th piece of chicken. Like, no, I'm not going to appreciate that. So just thinking about what that means, but I would appreciate, like, if we're going out to eat and like one of my friends is choosing the place, that they choose a place where there are healthier options, if that makes sense, like just to support me and help me. So that's like my goal right now. I do have a professional goal, And I'll continue to share that. But right now, really is just building my business and building its capacity to support me financially. In terms of friendship, I have a goal that I would like to make some new friends. And so that is a goal for me, which is, not as easy, but I definitely see an area that can be filled with some new energy, new vibes, and I hope that I can fill that with some really good, solid friends. And then in terms of the podcast, I am looking forward to guest, as Christy said, but I'm also looking forward to the raw conversations, because as you see, this season is called Real, Raw, Relevant. And I feel like we give you the real. We always are all 1000, you know what I mean? And so we're pretty honest about our thoughts about everything that we're talking about. I think that we are relevant, and we will increase our relevancy by talking about things that are, of the culture. But the rawness is really about us being raw, and even raw in terms of how we talk about our friendship, you know what I mean? And the dynamics and changes and things of that nature. And so I'm really excited for us just to share more, because I don't know if you all were talking about couple goals earlier. I feel like someone mentioned something like that. And we talk about friendship goals as well. I see that a lot. Everything on social media is very curated. You get to choose what you want to share and what you don't want to share. And there's a beauty in that, but there's also a piece where everyone isn't real anymore, right? And so I think raw is somewhat of that next step, where we'll have the opportunity to share a little bit more about our friendships, the highs, the lows, and how we overcome those to really still be Black women that are a tribe, that are supportive of each other in all aspects of our lives, even when we might not be the closest and when we are the closest. And I think that that's a space, going back to the gap, right? That's a space that needs to be filled. Because I feel like we have those conversations. I think Chrissy was talking about marriage and how it's another type of relationship. I think we have those conversations in terms of romantic relationships, not as much as I think we should, but they're out there. I don't think we have those conversations as much about friendship. And I'm not sure of the TV shows that I've seen and I've watched. I really like Run the World. I think it has potential. I'm happy that it's got approved for a season 2. That's on Stars. I also like The First Wives Club, which I think is on BET Her. And this summer, or no, last summer, I think, because that was a summer, I binge watched Girlfriends. And there were just pieces of all of these relationships that we see and friendships that we see on TV. I don't know if it's for TV, but I feel like they pick out the most toxic pieces of it all and try to put it all together. And I'm like, I would never be friends like that, right? But then I really start to think, you start to pull back the layers, and the truth is a lot of those things are existing, and some of those things do exist in friendships, you know what I mean? And they're just not talked about openly. Someone may feel this way or may look at another person this way, and we don't have those conversations. So that's what I'm looking forward to most this year, is definitely the rawness. Mic drop.
Dang, okay. So what am I looking forward to personally? I think personally, friendship, podcast. So personally, hopefully by the end of the next season, y'all will see me in a different apartment in a different state. Okay. That is what I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to a career change. I'm also looking forward to reaching a lot of goals that I set for myself. I also talked to my therapist today, so I have a really exciting thing that I'm doing for myself this year that I want to share with you guys. So I look forward to why are you making that face?
Because you gotta tell us now. What is it?
No, I can't. I have to process it and like plan it out. But I'm
Girl,
really
you can't be announcing stuff and then we're not gonna hear about it for 4 months.
no. Now y'all gotta listen.
All right, it gives people something to come back for.
Y'all gotta stay tuned. But I'm really looking
It
forward.
was me.
She's rude. Anyway, looking forward to that. Like I said, career change, new states, couple of things I have planned for myself. I'm also really looking forward to building my blog platform. So that is something I really want to do this year. Friendship, I'm actually really looking forward to exploring my friendships as I grow and as my friends grow. I'm really looking forward to meeting my friends at a different level and like where they are in their life. I'm looking forward to like experiencing life moments and goals and memories and all of that with my friends. I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited about making new memories in old places where friendships don't exist. So like if I had a friendship that's no longer there, but you know, you don't want to go back to that place or something, I'm really looking forward to creating new memories. So I don't feel so stuck to the old memories of old friendships and I can create new ones either by myself or with new friends. So I'm excited about that. And then for the podcast, I'm excited about guests. I'm excited about the raw and the real. I'm also excited about us just really connecting to a lot more friendships this season. Like I'm excited for us to connect to some more trios or some more girls groups or just some women out there who are looking to have a place where they feel safe, secure, and can really connect to women. So I'm hoping that there are women out there who are looking for that and can find that in the 1000 Club. So I'm excited to make those connections this year.
Yes. And close, I still just want to smile one more time because I got my braces out today, y'all.
Yes. Shout out to the Smile Club.
You know,
yes, they look so good.
Yes.
Too. They are like bright white. So give us your tips.
I was about to say, Dr. Scott, my Jamaican brethren, okay? Dr. Scott, his name is Dr. Stuart Scott. He is located in Mitchellville. And I think there's another location in Silver Spring. But yes, go visit Dr. Scott, Dr. Stuart Scott, orthodontics. He is it. I had 15 months. You all saw I was here basically the entire podcast with braces last season. And now I came back, no braces. Who's this?
Yes.
New teeth.
Yes, shout out to Champagne. What's his name? Champagne Poppy. He has a song on there, Poppy's Home or something like that.
Oh, now she a Drake fan.
Mommy's Home. That was one of the albums. That was like one of the songs I like. So
maybe my next episode I would have listened to it and look, I can quote what y'all quoting.
Yeah, listen to it and then we can have a conversation about it. Because y'all know I'm a Drake fan. Every Drake song on the 1000 Club playlist I put on there because I am a Drake fan. So speaking of that, for everyone who is watching and listening, if you haven't checked out the 1000 Club Summer on 1000 playlist, it is still up there for y'all to check it out. Summer is not over yet. We got about a couple of weeks left for y'all to get y'all summer on 1000, your hot girl summer, your hot boy summer, whatever it is y'all need to do that this summer. We got every song for you on the playlist. So go check that out. Make sure you follow us at 1000 Club Life, not the, sorry. It's right here in my face at 1000 Club Life on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well as catching our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and you can watch them on Facebook. Okay. We are giving you options this year. We are giving you every option so you do not miss us. You do not miss the conversation. You do not miss the 1000 Club because we are going to be here for y'all this season. Also, if you have topics or questions or comments that you want us to discuss on the 1000 Club, or maybe you want to come in and make a quick appearance and be on the 1000 Club, drop us a DM, drop in the comments, send us a message, Facebook chat us, YouTube us, send us a video. We'll get it. We are here. Call us. We'll call Rashana and then she'll let us know.
Don't call Rashana because Rashana is having a very hard time these days keeping up with any calls and text messages. So I'm booked and busy, honey. DM us.
So as we said earlier, you can catch us every other Thursday on every streaming platform where you get your podcast, as well as YouTube and Facebook. You can watch and see our lovely faces, and y'all can see how we are looking. You can see Rashana smile because she ain't never going to stop smiling this season.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see it, if there is a single guy out there who was looking for a pretty smile, hit up Rashana on YouTube, okay? She is here. You can catch our next episode on you can catch our next episode on September 23rd. We will be with our first podcast episode. You can always rewatch this and we'll have this up, but our next episode will air on September 23rd. Catch us. And in the meantime, live your life on 1000. Turn up with your girlfriends. Take some last minute trips. Enjoy your summer. And as always, check out the 1000 Club. Follow us, like us, and come back for the next episode. Boom.
It's my birthday, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, the next episode will drop on Rashana's birthday. So, shout out to
It's a holiday.
Okay.
It's a holiday. Do it like it's my B-day.
Okay.
Hey.
In my head. Because every time I hear that song, it stays in my head for like 24 hours. So thank you. It's living rent-free right now. Yes. All right, y'all. So this has been awesome. Our first it's live. We here. Thank y'all for tuning in with us. And like I said, you can catch us on September 23rd with our next episode. Be back, be prepared, and be on 1000.
Peace. Adios.